Looking for what to play in 2025? The truth is, there are so many incredible games out there that sometimes we feel lost, not knowing where to start. That's why this list brings the best of both worlds. New releases arriving with full strength and older titles that remain absolutely essential. It doesn't matter if you want to experience something fresh or revisit a work that marked an era. Every game here is worth every minute of your time. And before we begin, I want to know, what was the last single player that truly hooked you? Whether it was something new or a classic. Share it in the comments because I'd love to hear your answer. And if you can help me reach 50K subscribers, I'll be really happy. From one gamer to another, your support is what makes this channel live on every day. Without further delay, let's jump into it. Few games surprised as much as Clair Obscur Expedition 33, bringing an artistic and intense vision to turn-based RPGs. The story is built around a cruel cycle of destruction, where entire societies are doomed by an enemy that inevitably returns with every generation. It's a narrative that blends philosophy, despair, and hope, always carrying a strong emotional weight that lingers as you move forward. Turn-based combat here is far more than simply selecting commands. The game fuses precision with real-time elements, demanding quick reflexes to maximize attacks or defend at just the right moment. This mix gives battles a cinematic energy, turning what could have been methodical into something tense and engaging from start to finish. The art direction is something to be praised. The world looks like a living impressionist painting, full of bold colors and contrasts that convey both beauty and decay. Every environment feels like a piece of art, only with enemies waiting to end you at any second. This artistic style gives the game an identity like no other. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 established itself as one of the most remarkable RPGs of recent years. It not only reinvented turn-based combat, but also delivered a story that sticks in your head long after the credits roll. It's the kind of RPG that proves games can truly be art in motion. Elden Ring became synonymous with legendary open worlds, the kind you wander into without any rush, realizing every single step hides a secret. The plot revolves around the fall of the pristine ring and the struggle to restore or destroy order in the lands between. But the game never feeds the story to you directly. Everything is told in fragments, making you feel like an archaeologist of its own lore, piecing things together while surviving brutal battles and cryptic encounters. The combat system is straightforward yet merciless. It doesn't matter if you're facing a colossal beast or a common foe on the roadside, every fight demands complete attention. The freedom to shape your playstyle is immense. Whether as a brute warrior, a powerful sorcerer, or a hybrid mix, that freedom creates a unique sense of authorship, making each journey feel like it was written in a personal way. The setting is a masterclass in design. Poisonous swamps, castles that seem to pierce the sky, ancient forests, and barren plains make up a map impressive not only in scale but in density. There is no empty space, there's always something to discover, whether it's a hidden dungeon, an unexpected foe, or an item that changes your progression. That's why Elden Ring is remembered as a milestone. It blends freedom, challenge, and storytelling in a way that very few games ever managed, creating a world that not only captivates, but also rewards each attempt. It's the kind of title that defines an entire generation of action RPGs. Borderlands 4 carried on the tradition of combining chaos and humor, but delivered an even bolder narrative. It places you among rival factions scattered across exotic planets, each one with its absurd secrets and ambitions. The storyline mixes satire and nonsense, but also finds space for serious moments, showing that even within exaggeration, there is room for emotional weight. Every mission feels like a strange cocktail of comedy, action, and tragedy, all in the same package. When it comes to combat, the spectacle continues to be the insane arsenal, weapons with random effects, over-the-top abilities, and enemies that feel like they've been pulled from another universe turn every firefight into joyful chaos. The variety of character styles lets you shape your own way to play. Whether focusing on raw brawling, massive explosions, or more calculated strategies, this freedom makes every session unique, always packed with unpredictable moments. The planets are a show in themselves. Borderlands 4 takes you from radioactive deserts to neon-lit metropolises, from crumbling fortresses to strange alien biomes. Each location is filled with unique details and enemies, ensuring the feeling of repetition is practically non-existent. The setting not only sustains the rhythm, but also reinforces the chaotic tone of the narrative. By combining sharp humor, explosive gameplay, and worlds full of personality, Borderlands 4 proved it still has plenty of firepower. It doesn't try to be realistic or too serious, it doubles down on exaggeration and makes that its greatest strength. A true show of chaos that grabs you from start to finish. The first Berserker, Khazan, dives into a tale of vengeance and tragedy that feels pulled straight from a dark legend. The story follows the downfall of a wronged warrior forced to face gods, colossal monsters, and human corruption on a journey marked by pain. Every scene carries epic weight, turning even dialogues into part of a greater tale of honor, sacrifice, and redemption. It's a story that lingers in memory. Combat is the heart of the game, and every battle is built as a true test of patience and reflexes. Inspired by the Souls-like formula, the system delivers intense duels where every strike matters, demanding precision and constant strategy. Facing bosses feels almost cinematic, with massive creatures designed to crush every ounce of hope. Brutal, but deeply rewarding. The setting reinforces this tone perfectly. Ancient ruins, shattered battlefields, and decaying castles create environments filled with melancholy and grandeur. Each place seems to tell its own tragic story, amplifying the weight of the journey. It feels like walking through a world where beauty and destruction exist side by side, always reminding you nothing is safe. Khazan established itself as one of the most intense titles in dark fantasy in recent years. It combines heavy combat, dense storytelling, and a world built to mark every step of the player. It's one of those games that doesn't just challenge you, but also makes you reflect on every defeat and every victory earned with sweat. The Witcher 3 became a landmark in RPGs by combining a mature narrative with a living world full of side stories. The main plot is filled with political intrigue, relentless pursuits, and the search for those carrying the weight of destiny in their hands. What truly stands out is how even side quests are so well written, often more impactful than the main campaigns of other games. It's a universe that never treats anything as a simple task. Gameplay blends intense sword fights with the use of magical signs, always demanding attention to battle rhythm. Legendary creatures require preparation, from selecting potions to equipping special weapons, turning every encounter into something strategic. Character progression allows for different builds, ensuring every playthrough feels unique. The atmosphere is a spectacle in itself. Peasant villages, intrigue-filled cities, haunted swamps, and sprawling fields create a map that feels alive. Weather cycles and the sheer level of detail heighten immersion, making you feel like you're truly inside a continent at war, where every corner hides either a surprise or a threat. It's this blend of narrative, choices, and exploration that turned The Witcher 3 into one of the most legendary RPGs of all time. It doesn't just offer an adventure, but a collection of stories that stay with every player in different ways. With Doom: The Dark Ages, the franchise decided to return to the roots of brutality, while transporting the chaos into a grim medieval setting. The narrative places you as a chosen warrior, fighting against demons in a world that blends dark fantasy with extreme violence. It's a bold concept, yet it manages to preserve the essence of the series while presenting something fresh. The action remains insane, with lightning-fast gunfights and an absurd variety of weapons, but now reimagined in an older style. Giant swords, shields, and archaic gear mixed with demonic versions of cannons and heavy artillery. The pace is relentless, constantly throwing hordes of enemies at you without giving space to breathe. The environment design matches the vision perfectly. Ruined castles, blood-soaked battlefields, and infernal fortresses create an aesthetic that fuses gothic with grotesque. It's a world that feels perpetually at war, filled with twisted religious symbols and bizarre creatures, reinforcing the epic and heavy tone of the campaign. The Dark Ages prove the franchise still has plenty to offer, even after decades. It shows that the secret is keeping the intensity intact while daring with style and setting. A shooter that feels both classic and innovative at the same time, without ever losing the brutal essence that won generations. Nier Automata is one of those games that stirs both mind and emotions. The narrative follows androids sent to fight in a ruined Earth, overtaken by alien machines. But the story goes far beyond war. It touches on purpose, identity, and the essence of what it means to exist. It begins deceptively simple, only to unfold into philosophical layers with every completed route. Combat is fast and dynamic, mixing frantic action with RPG elements. Switching between sword attacks, dodges, and ranged fire creates fluid battles that often feel like cinematic choreography. Character progression and varied playstyles ensure the gameplay never grows repetitive, always offering something new in every encounter. The world mixes decay with beauty. Vegetation-covered ruins, endless deserts, and mechanical cities form landscapes that mirror the conflict between humanity and machine. The art direction conveys melancholy while remaining breathtaking, creating a contrast that leaves a lasting impression. Nier Automata goes beyond being just an action RPG. It's a narrative journey shaped by every player's choices. It's the kind of game you finish but keep thinking about for days, reflecting on everything you experienced. Cyberpunk 2077 turned Night City into one of the most vibrant and chaotic settings ever created. The story follows the struggle to survive in a city where corporations rule everything and humanity is increasingly replaced by technology. Between conspiracies, revenge, and moral dilemmas, the narrative portrays a dark future that at times feels disturbingly possible. Gameplay offers multiple paths. You can take missions head-on with futuristic weapons and cybernetic implants, or opt for stealth, hacking systems, and manipulating enemies unseen. This freedom gives the impression that each player truly forges their own style within the narrative. The city itself is the grand spectacle. Neon-lit streets, oppressive skyscrapers, black markets, and decaying districts form a map that never feels empty. Every corner hides a story, whether in casual dialogues or side quests exploring human dramas as powerful as the main plot. After its updates, Cyberpunk 2077 solidified itself as one of the most immersive RPGs today. It delivers a world that is both fascinating and suffocating, a direct reflection of humanity's ambition and downfall in its pursuit of power. Days Gone places you in a post-apocalyptic America dominated by infected that don't attack alone, but in hordes that move like waves of destruction. The story follows a journey of survival in a broken world, exploring themes of loyalty, grief, and the struggle to hold on to humanity amid chaos. Every encounter, every loss, and every decision reinforces that survival here isn't just about fighting monsters, but also resisting despair itself. Gameplay blends intense action with survival elements. Hordes demand careful planning, choosing routes, preparing traps, and using the environment to your advantage. The motorcycle is more than just a vehicle, it's a symbol of freedom and a vital ally, allowing you to cross dense forests, ruined towns, and dangerous highways. Caring for it feels almost like taking care of a partner on the road. The map is vast and ever-changing, reflecting the unpredictability of the world. Snowy forests, arid plains, ruined cities, and even shifting weather conditions create the sense that every trip could be your last. The day and night cycle adds tension as enemies become deadlier after sunset. Each turn of the road brings real isolation, but also a melancholic beauty in the scenery. It's this combination of personal narrative, challenging gameplay, and rich atmosphere that made Days Gone remembered fondly by many. It doesn't just deliver relentless action, but also quiet moments of introspection that mark the journey, a game that balances adrenaline with the emotional weight of a world in ruins. With Death Stranding 2, Kojima expanded the already strange and poetic universe of the first game, presenting an even bolder story. It continues to explore the limits between life and death, but delves deeper into themes of human connection, isolation, and the sacrifices needed to rebuild a fractured world. The narrative is filled with symbolism, heavy dialogue, and twists that make you question the meaning of every choice in that universe. Gameplay remains unique, keeping the focus on long treks, but now with new tools that make journeys more complex and strategic. Carrying cargo remains central, but missions are more varied, including elaborate encounters with both supernatural and human threats. Every system detail was designed to transmit the effort and struggle of moving through a hostile world, resisting every step forward. The landscapes are as grand as they are melancholic. Snow-covered mountains, apocalyptic beaches, and shattered cities create contrasts between natural beauty and crushing solitude. The setting reinforces the idea that even when accompanied, you're never entirely free from emptiness. Each backdrop feels painted with meaning, reminding you that the game is as much about walking as it is about reflecting. It's precisely this sum of narrative, gameplay, and atmosphere that turned Death Stranding 2 into one of the most striking games of recent years. It isn't just played, it's felt, leaving emotional scars and unforgettable memories. A work that proves video games can reach the same impact as cinema, but with the control in your hands. Hollow Knight's Silksong expands the already acclaimed universe of the first game, introducing a new protagonist and a journey into uncharted realms. The narrative places you in a land filled with secrets, where every region carries its own stories and lurking dangers. The sense of mystery never fades, and the plot is revealed in fragments, making each discovery feel meaningful to your progression. Combat is fast and intense, with emphasis on mobility and precise use of abilities. Facing enemies demands quick reflexes, but also strategy, since every creature has unique attack patterns. Boss battles are a true spectacle, requiring full concentration and rewarding you with that unforgettable sense of achievement once victory is finally secured. The atmosphere is mesmerizing. Crumbling cities, crystal-lit caverns, and forgotten temples form a map that feels alive and threatening at the same time. The verticality of the environments adds variety. As exploration isn't limited to moving forward, you also climb and descend in search of hidden secrets. Every detail reinforces the kingdom's unique atmosphere. By combining fragmented storytelling, challenging gameplay, and a world rich in detail, Hollow Knight's Silksong established itself as one of the most memorable Metroidvania experiences. It doesn't settle for repeating the formula, but expands it in every way, creating something truly unforgettable from beginning to end. Celeste is one of those games that prove you don't need a massive world to deliver something meaningful. The story revolves around climbing a mountain, but goes much deeper. Each section represents inner struggles, personal battles, and moments of overcoming that speak directly to you. On the surface, the journey seems simple, but it's full of emotion and meaning, turning every stage into a powerful metaphor. It's the kind of narrative that resonates deeply without needing to be grand. Gameplay is precise and challenging, with a platforming style that demands reflexes, attention, and above all, persistence. Each stage feels designed not just to test your skill, but also your patience and determination. The difficulty is high but never unfair. Every mistake serves as a lesson. Every fall prepares you for the next attempt. The feeling of clearing a difficult section is a personal victory that makes it all worthwhile. The visuals are another highlight, even in pixel art. Each part of the mountain has its own identity, with distinct colors, environments, and moods that reinforce the weight of the journey. The setting shifts as you progress, bringing both suffocating moments and more welcoming passages. This variety ensures the game never feels repetitive, always keeping you curious about what comes next. What makes this adventure truly unique is how it connects emotion and gameplay in a natural way. The difficulty blends with the story, and the sense of overcoming isn't just the characters, it's yours too. Celeste isn't only about reaching the top of the mountain, but about conquering the inner barriers that often seem impossible. It's a game that stays with you even after the credits, as if the climb continues within your own life. Dredge begins simply, with the promise of fishing in open seas, but quickly reveals a darker atmosphere that never lets you relax. The story blends the calm of fishing with the mystery of hidden ocean secrets, creating a constant sense of tension. As you explore, you realize the waters hold much more than fish. Bizarre creatures and unexplainable events appear, reshaping the course of your journey. It's a narrative that hooks you through curiosity and suspense. Gameplay focuses on fishing, collecting, and exploring, but the real twist is how the game handles time. By day, everything feels calm, but at night, things change drastically. Journeys become dangerous, with monsters and apparitions testing both courage and strategy. This creates an addictive cycle where you must decide how far you're willing to risk for greater rewards. Every trip to the sea is a mix of anticipation and fear. The visuals add to the immersion, with seemingly serene settings hiding a darker side. The stylized art gives a unique charm, while the transition from day to night reinforces the contrast between safety and danger. The ocean feels endless but never trustworthy. This design makes the act of sailing itself tense, something few games deliver so naturally. What stands out most about Dredge is how it turns a simple theme into something grand and enigmatic. Fishing, usually seen as relaxing, becomes an act of survival and investigation. Every creature you catch may reveal secrets, every voyage may end in disaster, and every decision weighs heavily on your progress. It's a title that blends exploration with horror masterfully, creating a memorable journey through unknown seas. Ashen takes you into a barren, mysterious world where sunlight has vanished and people survive in the shadows. The story follows a search for hope in a desolate setting that still carries the possibility of rebirth. Told in a minimalist style, the narrative leaves space for you to interpret events and connect with characters subtly. It's a tale of rebuilding, trust, and new beginnings in a devastated universe. Combat is deliberate and demands attention to every move. The Souls-like inspiration is clear, but the game has its own identity. Battles are challenging, requiring precision and strategy, while exploration happens across open regions full of secrets and shortcuts. Danger is constant, but there's relief in finding allies who appear unexpectedly and may accompany you on the journey. The environments have a striking art style, using muted colors and stylized designs rather than realism. Locations vary from dark caves to wide fields, all blending solitude with a sense of hope. This visual identity makes every new area feel important, as though it carries a fragment of the world's history. Ashen's greatest strength is how it emphasizes connection between characters. You're never entirely alone, as allies step in to help in combat or even during exploration. This mechanic reinforces the theme of community survival, only becomes possible through trust. It's a game that not only tests your skill, but also weaves a story about human bonds in the midst of chaos. Blasphemous 2 expands a universe steeped in darkness, where faith, suffering, and redemption intertwine in a dense, symbolic narrative. The story delves into heavy themes, filled with grotesque creatures, meaningful environments, and a nightmarish religious atmosphere. Every encounter, whether with enemies or mysterious figures, adds more layers, told both through dialogue and the world itself. It's disturbing, yet fascinating to explore. Combat evolves from the first game, with new weapons and fighting styles offering different approaches against enemies. Gameplay mixes precision with brutality, with battles that demand quick reflexes and mastery of mechanics. Bosses are spectacles in their own right, featuring imposing designs and attack patterns that push your skills to the limit. Each victory brings relief and triumph, reinforcing the journey's intensity. The environments impress with their artistic detail, each looking like a macabre painting. From ruined cathedrals to deserts of penance, every area conveys its own sense of desolation and mystery. Pixel art carries heavy style, delivering raw emotion without needing realism. This care makes exploring the map as rewarding as surviving difficult battles. Blasphemous 2 shines in how it merges challenging gameplay with symbolic storytelling. The violence of combat mirrors the themes of the story, while the environments function like chapters of a dark book. It doesn't hold back, and that's exactly why it offers a unique journey marked by the intensity and impact of every detail. Dead Cells brings a different but equally addictive concept, a fast-paced roguelike where every attempt to escape a mysterious prison feels like a brand new challenge. The story is told in fragments through discoveries and clues scattered across the environment. You control an entity reborn after every death, creating an intriguing narrative about repetition, evolution, and breaking cycles. It's a subtle plot, but one that keeps your curiosity alive throughout the progression. Gameplay is where the game truly shines, with fast, fluid combat full of possibilities. A wide range of weapons, special abilities, and different playstyles make every run unique. Death isn't just punishment, but part of the learning process, since each return allows you to unlock permanent upgrades and test new strategies. This loop creates a natural addiction where the urge to try just one more time never goes away. The pixel art visuals are vibrant and packed with personality. Each area has its own identity, from dark dungeons to towers swarming with enemies. Enemy and boss designs are varied, always bringing fresh and creative challenges. The intense colors and high-tempo combat give every stage its own energy, keeping adrenaline high at all times. What sets Dead Cells apart is how it blends randomness with constant progression. You never know what you'll face in a new run, yet you always feel like you're advancing. This balance between unpredictability and growth gives the game a long life, making every session exciting and unpredictable. It's the kind of title you can revisit for hours without ever losing interest. Metal Gear Remake brought back a classic many had only heard about. The story remains intense, packed with conspiracies and moments where you're never sure who to trust. Each mission feels heavier than the last, always placing you in tough choices and shocking revelations that change everything. It's the kind of plot that hooks you because it blends action with political drama, keeping you on edge the entire time. When it comes to gameplay, stealth is the focus, but there's no single way to play. You can sneak past enemies using every corner to your advantage, or go in guns blazing, knowing it's far riskier. The beauty is how every attempt feels different, and even when you fail, you come away having learned something new. That keeps the game dynamic and never repetitive. The environments look incredible with the remake's modern visuals. Secret bases, frozen landscapes, tight corridors, and open areas are filled with details that make you believe in the world you're infiltrating. The tension builds with every step, especially when the fear of being discovered kicks in. It nails the espionage atmosphere few games have ever matched. And of course, bosses remain some of the most memorable moments. Each fight has its own unique style, forcing you to think differently and adapt your approach. These battles aren't just fights, they're unforgettable set pieces you remember long after turning off the console. The remake brought that feeling back, making everything even more intense and impactful. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the kind of game that feels more like a parallel life than just a story. The narrative is loaded with emotion, portraying the final days of the outlaw era and the struggle to survive in a world changing too fast. Every dialogue, mission, and decision carries weight because you feel the burden of loyalty, friendship, and choices that can't be undone. It hits hard because it feels so real. Gameplay moves at its own deliberate pace, as if the game wants you to live in that world instead of rushing from mission to mission. Combat is tense, shootouts are nerve-wracking, and even simple tasks like hunting or tending to the camp feel integral to the experience. Nothing is rushed. Every detail was designed to immerse you in the Old West. The environments are breathtaking. Snow-covered mountains, damp swamps, booming towns, and open deserts all make you feel like you're truly riding across 19th century America. Every corner feels alive with its own story, and it's easy to lose track of time just riding aimlessly, stumbling on new discoveries along the way. What makes the game unique is how it connects you to the characters and the world. Nothing feels wasted. Every mission, every camp moment, even casual conversations build toward a larger, unforgettable journey. It's the kind of game you finish but keep thinking about long after, as if you still have unfinished business inside it. Gears of War Reload revived one of the greatest third-person shooters ever, reimagined with all the power of the new generation. The story remains epic, showing humanity's desperate fight against the underground threat pushing it to extinction. It's not just about explosions and non-stop action, it also explores sacrifice, camaraderie, and the scars of an endless war. It's impossible not to get drawn into this world. The cover system is still the heart of combat, but now improved to feel more dynamic. Shootouts are intense, and every weapon has a distinct weight, delivering satisfying impact with every shot. The active reload system, a series trademark, is back, demanding reflexes and precision to gain the upper hand. Combat arenas are varied, always forcing strategy and smart positioning. The visuals stand out, recreating iconic franchise locations with jaw-dropping detail. Destroyed city ruins, claustrophobic corridors, and war-torn battlefields reinforce the atmosphere of a shattered but enduring world. Enemy designs are more intimidating than ever, making every encounter feel like a heart-pounding event. What makes Reload special is how it balances nostalgia and freshness. Veterans will feel the impact of reliving these moments in a whole new way, while newcomers get a campaign full of unforgettable action. It's the kind of remake that not only revives a classic, but reminds you why it defined an era and still carries so much weight today. Atomfall drops you into a world devastated by a nuclear disaster, but radiation isn't the only danger. The story mixes government conspiracies, buried secrets, and the struggle of ordinary people trying to survive in a world stripped of order. It's a plot that balances survival with suspense, constantly making you question who you can really trust. Gameplay focuses on exploration and survival, always with danger lurking around every corner. You'll scavenge ruins, gather resources, and make quick choices in tense moments. Combat isn't just about shooting, it's about managing your limited supplies, since ammo and resources are never guaranteed. This keeps tension high at all times. The environments reflect the atmosphere perfectly. Abandoned cities, isolated villages, and quarantine zones create a constant sense of paranoia. The visuals mix realism with a grim tone, as though everything bears the scar of what happened. It's a hostile world, yet fascinating to explore, with hidden secrets in every corner. The standout is how the game handles conspiracy in its narrative. This isn't just a typical apocalypse. You soon realize there are layers of mystery, with documents, encounters, and clues raising more questions than answers. That balance between survival and investigation gives the game a unique feel, always giving you reasons to keep digging deeper. So tell me, which of these games are you most excited to play, or is there one you think should have made the list? Drop it in the comments, I really want to know your thoughts. And if you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like, it helps me a ton on the road to 50K subs. From gamer to gamer, that support makes all the difference. And if you love cinematic gameplay showing the entire game from start to finish, make sure to check out the second channel. I just uploaded a crazy video of Atomfall's opening, and honestly, it's breathtaking. Click over and see it for yourself. You won't regret it. A big hug, enjoy your gameplay, and I'll see you tomorrow!